Will he stay or will he go? We're talking about Darrington Hobson, the Lobos, all everything. The guy can play 3 good positions, mostly playing guard for the Lobos. Successful year, 50-50 on whether he'll come out or not. That's what Darrington said today.
What do you sure take?
I think, if you don't hire an agent, you can come back for your senior year. I think he needs to do that. I think he needs to go out there and see where he lands. If he likes it, if he's in the first round at all, in the top 30, they're projecting him as a top 20 pick. If he does make that, then he should just go ahead to his next level of his life, but finish school. He does need to finish school because that's important, because basketball is not going to last forever. And I know he'll make a good amount of money, but it's always good to have something to fall back on. And plus, you got this far in school, you might as well finish it up. What do you think?
I just don't see him. To be honest, I don't see him as a top 20 pick right now, today.
But you know what?
As a player who's only has 1 year of Division I college basketball under his belt.
Now, I'm not saying that based on my own
thought.
No, this is from a guy who's talked to NBA scouts.
Exactly, they're NBA scouts. But I think that that'd be a reach. That would be a reach, and I don't necessarily think that would be the best pick for him, and the best option for him right now. I think, considering the way the NBA has its rookie salary scale, that if he comes back, kills it like he did last year, and the team with him will be better.
He'll be a lottery pick.
He'll be a lottery pick, and I think it can only help him. And like you said, get your education. Darrington fought so hard to get to college, graduated from junior college. Why would he leave himself on the line, knowing how listening to people who told him academics weren't important earlier in his life really messed him up? I think he needs to go that way and finish everything up. Go out and be a lottery pick, be one of the most successful Lobos ever. I think that could be his path, and that would be definitely a better path for him.
Yeah, I think that might be Danny Granger, because Danny Granger's having himself one whale of a season. Speaking of seasons, how about football? Spring football has started, and I know Coach Loxley and the gang looking to have better success than they did last year when the fall comes around. And I would like to see, what I want to see is like the new quarterbacks that come in. Because I'm not coming down on the quarterbacks they have now. I'm just saying that maybe these new guys are used to running this kind of system. And one guy in particular that I've already mentioned before is Stump. Man, Stump looked good on videotape. And so what he does later, and then the team seems to have a new attitude about recommitting themselves to doing things better and trying to bring back that toughness that they had under Rocky Long. So these guys were all young last year. We might see a new and improved team. Maybe they win 5 or 6 games this year. I don't know. I mean, they got a tough start. They go right out the gate when they go to Oregon. But Oregon's Masali, he's got to sit out that game. The quarterback has to sit out that game because of some transgressions off the field that he had trouble with the law. So he won't be in that game. Maybe that could help the Lobos a little bit, and because then they, but who knows? I mean, they don't have chicken scraps sitting behind them. They got a good player sitting behind him. So we'll see what happens as they start the season and as they progress. What do you think?
I think you're definitely right about the quarterbacks. I don't think they have a quarterback right now in spring practice that's built to run this kind of offense. I think B.R. Holbrook was built to run a Rocky Long offense, and he would have been a great Rocky Long quarterback. I don't think Brad Gruner has the arm or the decision-making to do so, and Tate Smith had some academic issues. So, I mean, why not open it up to, you mentioned Stump. I really like Terry and Austin. I think that he's just a winner, and a playmaker with both of those quarterbacks. Interesting to see how these guys come in. The team has a soft middle of the schedule. They have 7 after. I don't think they can win any of their first 3 games, but I think they could win. They could win 5 or 6 games in that soft middle where they're playing the UNLVs, the Colorado States, the New Mexico States, the UTEPs. They can win those games, but I think the Lobos are going back to what made them such a good team in the Rocky Long era. Excellent defense. They've got great defensive recruits coming in, and I think that defensive line is going to be stout. And, a lot of people talking about all the recruits coming in. Don't forget, Jonathan Raining was probably the best player on this team last year.
Well, and he's going to have some help on the defensive line with the transfers coming in and the recruit you're talking about. Brad, I can't remember his name, Smith, right? The lineman.
Calvin Smith.
Calvin Smith. Well, with Calvin Smith coming in, they're going to have some beef up on their defensive line, and they finally got the bodies, those big bodies, to run that kind of defense that they like to run, that basic defense, nothing the tricks and gimmicks that they used to run with the speed and the smaller guys when Rocky Long was here. So they finally got those bodies up front.
And I think they have two good corners too.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The corner is going to the question mark is still out. I want to see how AJ Butler's going to do, also playing safety, moving over from his running back position, because this is a guy who he'll have that experience from being a running back to mesh with him learning the defense. I think he might struggle at the beginning because the speed of the game is going to be different. Now he's trying to pull people down as opposed to trying to go through people. So I want to see that adjustment in a live situation. I wonder how that's going to be for him.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that, because I think A.J. Butler was a very good running back, and I think one thing that this team proved last year is you need a whole lot of depth at running back, because Casey Carrier is small. Damon Dennis, he's built, but, he's not built to last every single game in the Mountain West Conference, and James Wright has certainly had injury problems too, so, I mean, taking a fourth really good running back off could hurt the team, but
you got to show up that spot at safety, so...
You do have to show up that spot at safety, but is it a better gamble? I'm not sure. But you said the corners was a question mark. I really like Emmanuel McPherson, and I really like Nathan Enriquez.
Okay.
I really like both of those corners.
Well, Enriquez proved himself as a high school player and coming up as a freshman and having a decent season last year.
Well, he's the guy that nobody expected, and Emmanuel McPherson carries around this, I'm the top corner mentality, and I think as these guys mature, they're only going to get better and
That's
better.
good. Swagger never hurt anybody. And speaking of Swagger, what about New Mexico State? The running back Kevin Turner. I think I got that right. It was Kenny Turner. But anyway, that guy, I don't know if you remember his story when he got in trouble. I think he was around 16 or whatever. I know he got convicted as an adult and spent some time for doing a crime. And that guy was playing with Chris Johnson and all those guys when he was playing. Yeah. And Chris Johnson actually in Florida in high school. And this is a story that was told to me by Jeff, one of the reporters at the New Mexican, that CJ was saying that Turner was a better running back than he was on this team. So, I mean, if the guy is that good, it's going to be interesting to see how he fits with the Aggies and see what kind of production, what kind of numbers he's able to produce, because he is a JUCO All-American too. And just the videotape that I saw of him, that guy looked ridiculous running the football. I mean, there were times when he looked stopped and he just kept going. So, I mean, he reminded me of a faster Rodney Ferguson, which is kind of scary to think about.
I thought that was James Wright. I think New Mexico State has the exact same problem UNM does. They don't have a quarterback. I mean, they got two. If you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one. I mean, that's how the old saying goes. Is it Jeff Walls or is it Fleming? Who is it? I mean, they need to decide early. Right. And if New Mexico State really wants to take their program to the next level, that is, 500 season bowl game, they need some defense.
Well, they have some other quarterbacks coming in, and I think that what you're going to see is somebody else knocking both of those guys, Fleming and Walls, out of the picture. I don't even think they'll be a factor. Well, that's just what I think.
That may be a possibility, but the problem with something like that is New Mexico at 1-11 can afford to turn the reins over to a freshman quarterback. New Mexico State is kind of building on something, and they're getting better and better, and you might not want to hand the reins over to a freshman.
No. If you got, it depends on how this running back performs. Now, if this guy is his build, if the hype is true, the quarterback's just going to be handing off the ball and managing the game pretty much. It's going to be like a Trent Dilfer with the Baltimore Ravens in a Super Bowl situation. That's what it's going to be.
Brad Gruner 2 years ago down at New Mexico State, where they had 63 carries, something ridiculous. It was Rodney Ferguson, Paul Baker, James Wright. Yep. Brad Gruner didn't even think about throwing the ball. He decided, I'm just going to join the party and run it. So.
Yep, that's what. As a matter of fact, it turned the game around when he had the 46-yard run.
He did. But I think we've been talking off of the mouth too long.
I think we need to sign off, and with that, I'll say peace.
Welcome back to Albuquerque. Thanks for coming back to work.
Sir. Oh yeah, I've been working the whole time. Trust me.
Sure, partying in San Jose.